I woke up this morning
Hmm.
and as soon as my alarm went off, I just went, God damn, Allie. Like, why?
What, that
Yeah,
9:55 a.m. alarm?
yeah. I said, why, Allie?
What do you got
Why?
there? Is that like a Coke? Are you drinking like a full Coke at 10 in the
It,
morning?
it's an iced coffee.
Iced
It's an
coffee.
yeah,
You're
it's an
going
iced
in.
coffee, Allie.
And you got two drinks on the go. And
hmm
you got the protein shake full of water.
I don't, you know what? I usually do. I thought if I do that, he's gonna rinse me to no end. I usually have a protein shake.
What's
I
wrong
don't
with
want
that?
this. I
Wait,
don't
why
want this to
not?
be recorded.
This
I
is-
because there's certain things that I do that I catch myself doing them. I'm like, God, these are just like such like on paper, I am the
Yeah.
biggest douchebag.
Yeah. Weird that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's
I
that?
don't know
What?
what, yeah.
I don't know why that doesn't
Yeah.
make
I don't
sense
know.
because you're a really chill guy.
Yeah, I'm coming out with it. I drink protein. So what?
But you are, so just catch everyone up. This is Russell Hicks, first ever guest on the Alleywards broadcast. Russell is such a big fan that he said, Yo, Ali, can I get on your pod? I was like, Well, I've never had a guest before. He was like, What the hell? And I was like, Oh, we don't do that podcast anymore. It's a different one. And so this is this is the first ever guest we've had. Russell, what's good is that this podcast has no point, it's meaningless. And like a lot of podcasts, but to the point where my agent was like, why would you start a podcast if it doesn't have a point? Like you've got to have a hook. So I just started anyway. So this is probably the first episode with any sort of reason for existing.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
To have you on.
I mean,
So
seriously, to be the first guest, this is really momentous, and I appreciate you giving me that. Yeah, they wanted you to have a point. Yeah, that's annoying when the podcasts at some point podcasting became you had to have a hook.
mm.
And then I feel like the hook got more and more niche until I feel like people broke that. You know what I mean? Some podcasts were just like the you know what I don't like is when someone asks you to come on a podcast and then they send you like they're like, okay, just before prepare 10 stories of times when you failed or whatever. No, that was your old podcast. But anyway, like
Do you know what I
that was all
fucking
right.
hate, dude? You know what I fucking hate? When you
Your old
get a,
podcast.
your old
Jeez.
podcast. Thank,
Drop
thank
that
God
dead weight.
you came in. You know that meme where it's like, went by my hater's funeral just to make sure he's dead? That's you with this podcast. You're so happy that all I do is fail doesn't exist anymore. You've come to the new pod to slag it off.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw Tom yesterday at the party. We were at a party last night.
yeah,
Isn't
can
that
you believe
great?
that? That's pretty cool. You, well,
I,
how
I
were you at a party? By the way, guys, just to inform you, if you've never heard of Russell Hicks before, I assume that's most people. That he is
well,
huge, huge, huge deal. Genuinely one of this country's best improvisers and riffers. I say that with my chest. That is true. He is well known for that, and honestly, one of the best. There's not many better that do it than him. And he is going on tour this year. So, Russell, that's who we got on today. But how are you at a party, Russell?
nice one, man. Yeah, you know what? I don't go to parties
Mm.
really. And it was nice to get like the only reason I went is because it was Phoebe who works at Big Belly who used to work there. It was her last night. And I thought, you know what? It would be
I'm gonna make it a
she
night.
I'm gonna say I said, you know what, babe? I'm gonna blow minds. You know what I mean? Let's make this girl's life. And I showed up and
The
she
the
kind of looked at
Russell
me.
Hicks was
Yeah,
there.
I said, hello. And
What did
yeah,
she
no,
say?
I mean it
She was like, are you on tonight?
she was like, yeah, what are you doing here? And I know it was like it wasn't that it was cool, man, getting everybody together. You were like sitting in a booth, man. You were like holding court. You were in the corner.
Yeah, I like the booth.
You know what
I
I
like
mean?
sitting in a corner. I think
People just coming up one at a time, paying respects.
yeah, yeah, that was good. That was a nice feeling. I I don't know about you, but I feel like my attitude towards a party and what I want from a party has changed with age. Before I'd be running around the party. Now I want a corner. That's my
Hmm.
vibe. Yeah, you have a corner, you have your base, and everyone's like, man, that guy, he's always got people around him, and you're just chatting, and then people can come up to you. But before I'd be like socializing more.
What, you'd be like the guy bopping around the party, like getting in all the little,
Yeah, I think I
like
wanted people to like know me and like me and stuff like that. And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
really, I was like really keen on people just thinking, oh, who's that guy? Cool guy. Whereas now I'm like, if I go to a party and I chat to the people I know and like and leave,
Who
that's fine.
who's
I don't
that
need to meet
guy?
them. Who's
I imagine you in like Elton John glasses or something. Just, who's that? Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
never mentions it. Just a hat with a feather coming out of it.
Yeah,
Who the hell is that dude?
just doing like close-up magic. Hey, I'm out. I'm out. Um, no, I enjoyed it, man. It was like it was good. Just after I did a gig and I honestly, since I've been a comedian, even going all the way back to San Diego, like I didn't, and I don't know what this is. I just wasn't like a party. I would hear about like, oh yeah, we're all hungover. We all did this thing, and I'm like, oh wait, what? Oh yeah, there was this big party, and all these comedians were there, and I was just like, wow, like I never
Yeah,
mixed it up with any of that, and so
I feel
it
you,
was
dude.
nice. I
Because
think I don't drink. Maybe that's the thing.
yeah. Well, you should stop just smacking crack while you're at these parties. Maybe more people will talk to you. You're just
I
like,
know.
I always get persecuted for not drinking. It's like, it's not the not drinking, Russell. It's because you bring your crack pipe every time.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I don't know
I
how
like a
you
nice corner
corner of the
and a pipe of
street.
crack.
I never
Yeah.
go inside. No, I'm always the cool guy. I'm always the cool guy in the smoking section, smoking crack.
Smoking the
That's
crack.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that's another thing as well. Maybe we relate with. I get stressed out by comedians' parties. I feel like it's like a work event, and I feel like a lot of them like they're best mates with each other, and they're like hanging out, and they're like catching up, and everyone knows like the gossip with each other and stuff. And I feel like I don't know any of that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised because you're known as such a gossip. You know that.
Well, who do you think's spreading that rumor
That's
around?
your that's your that's your rep, man. No, is it yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I know what you mean. Like you feel like everyone else knows and has all the dirt and all that stuff. Like yeah, you know what's weird like with that? Like you ever do auditions, like acting auditions?
Mate,
That's the
I
thing.
do self tapes, but I very rarely get to the audition stage.
It's like when you go into an audition room, sometimes you're in there and they all know each other somehow. And that just throws it off. They'll be like, oh, hey, man. Oh. And like, and you're just kind of sitting there like,
I'm already out.
got
I've
nothing.
already lost.
Yeah. I just throw my script on the ground and go, leave.
Shit. And are you
Out.
okay, Russell? Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Fuck.
Mhm.
Immediately call Chloe. Fuck, it happened again. It fucking happened again. I told you, I'm a waste of space. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm ready to read, if that's okay.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to work on that actually. Like just being like, sometimes it's so funny, man. It's like I'm getting used to the fact that like, okay, me and my girlfriend talk about this a lot, where it's like if I'm in a room with people and someone's making me okay, because you're in a green room sometimes with comedians, and it's like sometimes you're just like, oh, this is great.
Mm,
This mix of chemicals or whatever, whoever, we are just like so I'm so relaxed. These people are so great.
yeah. Everyone's
Like when
riffing and
like
chatting with each
oh
other.
yeah, it's just nice. I don't know why some people to me, I used to say, I'd tell Chloe, I'd be like, why can't everyone just be cool? Some people are just they're just cool. They're just like if I sit down with
That's
you,
so West Coast American of you to
well, you
be.
know what I mean?
I
It's
went
not
to
that
UK and
hard.
they're literally like the least chill people I've ever met in my life. Like, just can you be cool, dude? Can you be fucking
It,
cool?
exactly. Because like if I'm sitting with you, you're just like you're you're cool. You'll just talk and it's normal. You sit with some other people and it's like I don't know, they'll be like they take like weird digs at you, it feels like, or they're just
Mm.
being weird, and you're like, what's going on, man? Like, why can't we just hang out?
Yeah, what
But
is
then
that? What is that? So what puts you off? What people are going like, is it like the fake compliments or something? Or like the sort
no,
of
no, oh, compliment. No, I absolutely fine with that.
one day it will happen.
Someone's
You know
just
what I mean? It's still
someone's
waiting.
just someone's just feigning compliments at me. I was like, oh, this is fine. I tell
See,
people
you're
that sometimes. I
cool.
go,
You're cool, Ali, because
why can't you
you
be
like
cool? You're
suck up
cool,
to
man.
me.
You know
You're
what I
cool.
mean?
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
Russell, one of the best
Give me the
improvisers.
big
And why can't
intro.
everyone be like that? You know what I mean? Like,
I was saying that. I was like, you hear about these celebrities who have like yes men and all that. And I'm like, you know what? I'd be fine with that. I'd just be fine. Wouldn't life be easy? I don't care if they're lying to me. I'd be fine.
You want that? You're gunning for the lifestyle of sort of an emperor. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Yes, my lord. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what you want.
All I ask is fealty. Is that so wrong with that?
Did the
No, I
people
mean
like it? You
like
come off a gig having died. Did the people like me? Yes, my lord. Yes, they loved you. They loved you, my lord.
hey,
Yes,
you crushed it.
you crushed it, my lord. Yeah,
I
but
thought
then
so. That's what I thought. They were
yeah.
quiet out of respect.
Yeah, yes, yes. Oh, my lord, there's a new thing, silent laughing. It's what happens here in this country. Yes, yeah, I thought that was the case.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Mm.
So, but where do you think that comes from then? Do you think people are just are people normally like that? Do you think the comedy industry is more filled with not cool people or cool people?
No, no, I just what I'm saying is like I'm getting to a point where I go, I start to realize like, oh, this is maybe they're not comfortable. Maybe this is like how they do you know what I mean? Like when you're
Mm,
with like you're like, all right, maybe this is something else here. It's not personal. There's
yeah.
maybe not so you know what I mean? Like so people get nervous and they do weird stuff. Like there's a lot of people in comedy, and I know this is a trend right now, but man, there's a lot of people on the spectrum in this business. And quite honestly,
I
I'm
know
tired
this
of
is a
it.
trend right now, as if
No,
it's
you know what
like
I mean. There's like
it's like I know everyone's growing a mullet now, and like, but and I've got to sit here with people with mullets, and they're going to be like, I didn't realize I was a mullet guy for ages, and now I've got to nod along and pretend
yeah.
that you're not going to have a mullet in 3 years' time.
Well, there's a lot of like this diagnosis of autism net is quite wide these days. And a lot of comedians, say they have it, but there's definitely, a lot that
Well,
just
I talked about this on the old pod that I think
yeah,
comedians just fall into ADHD or autism. I think they're the two
for
camps,
sure.
and it basically goes into writers who perform or performers who write. That's basically it. I would say that we are in the ADHD camp.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah. Like yeah, exactly. We're more the performer.
yeah, yeah,
Like
and
I'm
that's why
definitely
we're
in the
cool.
ADHD, but
That's why we're cool because we have
do you know what? That's the thing, man. That must be it. It's you know what? I honestly think you just cracked it. It's when ADHD guys uh mix it up with the autistic comedians that there's a social friction.
that's it.
I'm not
It's
even kidding. That's it. You nailed it. I'll be like, that's it. Because every time I'm with an ADHD, like then everything is cool. But it's when the
We never stay
werewolves
on
mix
topic
with
for
the
one
vampires,
minute. Yeah.
that's when it's fucked.
You've got you riffing, being like, "Oh, did you see that guy in the front row?" And they're like, no." And then you're like, "Fucking weird guy I'm talking
Yeah.
to." In this.
Yeah, I saw you be mean to the guy in the front row. Like,
Yeah.
what? Shut up. You know, I don't know, man. That's it.
Funny. Did you ever?
I
Did you
just
ever? Have
know.
you ever thought? Have you ever thought about going for a diagnosis yourself, seeing if anything's up with you?
No, because where do you even go for that? I mean, like for
I think you
the
can do it
ADHD,
online. It's like
no, no,
Facebook.
you can't. Yeah.
You just
That's the thing. Like, even so, I think what the professional diagnosis is you go to the NHS and it's like a 3 hour, like the real one, right? Is like
Yeah, there's a long waiting list as well. You have to wait ages to get on now because
even
it's
then
very
though, I'm like,
oversubscribed.
no, I'd like to. Yeah, why not? But I
You,
mean, whatever. You can just tell what's the difference in someone telling you have ADHD and just you saying to yourself, I have it,
yeah,
as far as I can tell. So you know, if you just go, yeah, I've got it, then I think it's the
Yeah.
same result.
So also been proved that you have ADHD because you can't be asked with the admin of getting a diagnosis. That's put you off. So
Yeah.
that's where you're like,
Yeah.
yeah. So then, therefore, if we go back, that's probably
Hmm.
right. That's probably it.
It's without question.
Yeah.
But,
Mate, I want to hear about this talk. Come on, tell us, man. What's going on? So, what the big question for you is, Russell. From my point of view, I'll tell you about this. The context. I don't know. I've never chatted to you about this, but with you, when I started, man, you were the guy.
oh
You
my
were
God.
like
Let me
this.
tell you something. I hope that a younger comedian does this to you one day and you feel the backhanded pain that comes with this. You're not the first person to, and this is so nice, but someone was on a podcast
Sorry,
recently. No,
ADHD. Sorry, I just started a sentence, but the
yeah, okay,
ADHD
go ahead.
podcast continues. No, no, please. No, I
No,
want it.
because this is a
I'm into it.
compliment.
I'm
I
into
know
it.
I'm
Yeah.
taking a compliment badly, but this
Yeah.
thing of
That's
like
classic comedian as well.
when I started, there was a lot of past tense in
When
there.
I started, now it's obviously not true, but back then, oh my God. But it wasn't that you were even particularly successful, no offense,
My
but
God, what
you're
is
way,
this?
you're way more successful
It's
now.
10 in the morning.
You're way more, this is how I get a guest on. I get them up early, I get them out of their comfort zone, and then I just get lay into them. But it wasn't, it's you're way more successful now. But it was that you were the guy that everyone talks about. Oh my God, have you seen Russell Hicks, man? He just doesn't even have fucking material. He goes up and riffs it. I remember being shown the clip of you at King Gong. And if you don't know what
Yeah.
King Gong is, 5 minutes at the Comedy Store, you're supposed to get booed off. You have to make it through 5 minutes by making them laugh. And if you fuck up once, you're out. And you going on with no material right at the end and crushing for 5 minutes, just riffing. And I remember being shown that at an open mic when I started, and people being like, mate, you've got like, honestly, like, let's just watch it for 5 minutes. You got to watch this guy. So it was a genuine, very the thrill of mine when we started gigging together, and that's a great thing about comedy. But my question, all this leads to, is: did you say this is your first tour?
Yeah.
So how comes it's taken? Because all I hear from
Yeah.
people who watch your
Mm.
shows, how great you are. People come along. I have mates who are in Edinburgh who never heard of you. They went to your show. They were like, "It's the funniest thing I've ever seen." Annoyingly, they had also seen my show, and yeah. And so, what? How comes it's just now that you're thinking, right? I'm going to take Hicks on the road.
It's funny. I think about that and I was thinking like I do think I'm sort of like one of the most I was trying to think of a
That's not what it was. I thought you were just gonna, the way you were leaning back, you were just like,
you
it's
know
funny. I think I am one
woods
of the most underrated, disrespected comedians.
yeah. Well, first of all those compliments are really nice and it you're like it's funny because you say that and then you're sort of shielded from that as a like it was years later before I would say it was only a couple years ago that I started to realize through people like you saying that was a thing. I had no idea
That what was the
that
thing?
people would be like, "Oh, I was told I gotta watch your video and like I gotta watch that King Gong thing," and I was like, I just like had no like imagine it's hard to imagine a group of people talking about you like that when you're not around, and I was like, really? I would take hear younger. I think it's because guys like you started to come up and then work on the circuit, and then they would talk to me about that, and it was like, oh wow, I had no, I honestly didn't know. I just thought that was a video I did that got some views online. I didn't know that was like a thing that younger comedians were watching. It's great. It's a
Mate, it was
massive
like a
compliment.
lesson. It was like a masterclass thing that they were like, and also because it was the fact that as well, again, if you've not heard King Kong, you don't know it, but it's the fact that anyone can do it. It's not like this is you slickly going onto a club set,
Yeah.
like having been around for a while and doing your best stuff. It was like,
Mm.
it was so raw. And that's why it was so cool. And it was like for everyone like who's trying to learn how to be comfortable on stage, being able to like riff and chat and be able to improvise. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
So I'll just be totally honest with you. Like the reason this is the first tour is, you know, and I like things are going good. And I only say that because of what I'm about to say, which is I have like the joke I try to say around the house sometimes is I'm like one of the most successful, unsuccessful comedians.
Sorry, by the way, that just sounds like it's not working in the house. It's like I try and
No,
say it's tough,
no,
Chloe.
I know.
It's like,
I have house material.
yeah, and
I
you're
was with
still
a comic,
you're working on it. You got with the notepad into the
you know
kitchen.
Adam Bloom. Yeah, you know Adam Bloom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He like it was so funny. I don't. He was like it was the sincerity that he said this that made me laugh. He like told a story in the green room, and it was really interesting. And then when everyone left, he turned to me. He's like, "Yeah, it's good green room material, isn't it?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I love that." Because it's true. We have like stories that you'll tell when you're with your friends or something, and you wouldn't do it on stage. You're like, "Yeah, it's
No,
green room material." Like
yeah,
I love the idea of having we find it so hard to function that we have to have like coffee shop material. I've got like a
Yeah,
little,
yeah.
I
God
got a bit
forbid
I
you
do
ever
when I get
chill
on a
out
bus.
and actually
Yeah,
listen to someone when you ask a
yeah,
question, empathize.
yeah,
So we know we should catch up another time about that. Instead it's more like
yeah.
I want to crush. I want to crush.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got this like this Uber driver patter that I do in the back seat, man. It
Yeah.
just smashes it, bro. 5 stars
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, yeah. You get out the Uber, you check your notes. Fuck, I missed that fucking line. Jesus Christ. Immediately book another Uber. That's the good thing about Ubers, man. You can double up, triple up on the night, keep it
Yeah.
going.
I'm on
It's
the
like
Uber
I'm doing more
circuit.
Bolt now. You're getting low
Yeah.
reviews on Uber. I can't get in with fucking Uber. How'd you get in with
I
Uber?
can't.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
know
man,
those comedian jokes?
that guy won't pick me up.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know him? Have you got his email? Have you got
What? No, no, he never picks me up, bro. I ask for a ride every night.
Yeah, I used to be in with
Um,
him. I used to. That's the annoying thing. I literally
that's what's
used
up.
to.
So yeah, I mean, so I
So we'll
feel
say that
like
again. So you're the most unsuccessful successful.
I'm the
Oh.
most successful unsuccessful comic.
Hmm.
Which that sounds bad, man. I don't want to like I what I'm trying to say is like it's I guess what I'm trying to say with that is that like it's crazy when I look back and I'll tell Chloe, my girlfriend, I'll be like, it's like I'm like working but it's always felt like in the weirdest way, the only arm of this business that has like flat out rejected me, given me zero assistance is the comedy industry. I do a lot of other things, like how you do all kinds of stuff
Were you tap
in
dancing?
the
What do you mean?
I am a tap dancer.
I'm at
I
SeaWorld.
do
I'm smashing at SeaWorld.
cabaret.
They love me at SeaWorld.
Uh no, but you know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm
So
not
what?
like
No, so tell me.
bitter.
Yeah, what other things? What do
Yeah,
you
I'm
mean?
not bitter or anything, but it's just like it's weird when I look back and think like I've done all of this on my own. I mean, I'm talking to you. You're also like someone who, I feel like does a lot on his own
No
and
friends.
you've zero friends.
That's why we get on.
Tom has left you.
Everyone else,
Yeah.
isn't it weird when you talk to those comedians and they start telling stories about like on the weekend I hang out with these mates.
Oh, I
I'm
told
like
Elliot, yeah,
killing the vibe.
I told Elliot Steele, I was like, and I love Elliot because I could say this to him, but I was like, you're one of those guys, like you go on stag do's with other comics.
With
That's a
other
specific
comics.
type of comedian. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
Yeah.
I feel like anyone who hangs out with Daniel Sloss, like that crew, you always hear like it's always like, and this is not a criticism, he's probably a nice guy. I'm just saying there's that type of crew. Maybe the have a word guys are like that. You'll hear a
Mm.
story like, oh man, we all took a jet to Berlin. It was like
Yeah,
10
yeah,
of,
the
and
whole
I'm like,
weekend.
that is a type of, I don't have that comic
Yeah,
crew.
what I agree
I'm
with
not
you,
going on
man. Like
anyone's stag do. But
no, I am yeah, you're hosting. I'm hosting the stag. Are you closing? I'm hosting the stag do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But like I agree, like there's people in this industry where like they're all their best friends in the whole world. They're like posting like fuck man, what would I do without you? I'm like, we get on, like we're good mates,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
but the
No, but
idea
I
that
want, oh, sorry, man, to cut you off.
no, no, yeah, but I don't know where. And part of that for me, I feel, is because I'm from London, that I have friends here and a life here, and I have family here. So I don't maybe feel the need to have made like really, really close connections with new people that I guess work with. Whereas I can imagine people moving to London, yeah, you've got to start again socially, and they can, especially like internationally and stuff, they can move here and you got to have a whole social group. But to be fair to you, you've moved here internationally and you've succeeded in befriending no one. So that's a sort of a claim that you have.
When I was in LA, I remember this kid said, you're like a comedy drifter. And I was like, oh, okay.
The way that you said this kid is what I'm imagining like an 8-year-old.
He had like a old Newsies hat.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
a
it
comedy
sounds like a
drifter.
Chaplin film.
What do you say to
Yeah,
me, little
drifter.
whippersnapper? Nothing. And then
Huh?
runs off.
Get out of here. And I was like, what do you mean by that? But see, this is interesting because I think that this is like all ties together with the parties and everything. Because what he meant was you just like, I dotted around because in LA you have to do open mics and it was like open mic, open mic. I was just always like in and out, in and out, in and out. I wasn't like in one spot too long. And I think maybe you're the same is because like you work hard. You have kind of you can get really focused, probably an ADHD thing, right? Don't you get like super focused? And so maybe
I
like,
struggle with that. I thought it was
but is it, but
super
isn't
focus
that
is more
part
the
of,
autism, isn't it?
oh, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I got that. Maybe, but like, I thought it was an ADHD thing,
You're
but you like,
autistic and your special interest is having ADHD. That's what it is. It's the
yeah.
sort of autception that's going on inside you.
But what I think is like, maybe because, uh, you say you get so focused on this that you don't socialize as much. Um, but you know, like I don't know, man. Like in being in this country, I feel like I've been in this country a really long time, and yeah, it's weird because there's like things that like I work on the circuit a lot, and but I wonder if it's not because of sort of like that way that I kind of I don't know, like not keep to myself or whatever, but it's almost amazing that I was able to totally avoid any sort of um kind of limelight. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean
Like
limelight? Then I
like a
don't.
tour, like all these things. Like
Yeah.
some comedians, like in this country, they'll start and then very quickly they go into this like they're on a TV show and then they doing
Mm.
this and then they do that. Whereas like I would it was bizarre. Like I would hear things people like you and be like, "Oh yeah, like everybody knows you." And then I would but then to me I'm like, "Do they?" And then cuz then I would look around and be like, "Yeah, no, I've never done a tour. I've never done um I mean like I got on an I yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is just sounds like I'm complaining now, but it was like it was almost like being I don't want to say like gaslit, but it was like weird because then you'd meet like industry people who knew who I was. And then, but I was like, so let me get this straight. So do you do know who I
Mm.
am? I don't know. It's
That's always jarring when you think because you've never had the opportunities because these people have never emailed you and been like we love your stuff and then you go to one of these industry things and they're like oh Ali yeah no I know you yeah and you're like well then why don't I get any work you know,
oh,
it's,
you get mentioned all the time, which is, or
well that's
honestly,
my gossiping happening
yeah,
right
yeah.
now yeah
No, but I
man.
think with you, but also with you, like when I mean, I assume it's going good now. Maybe this is getting a little too inside baseball for everybody, but um,
Well, to be fair,
like,
this is I the last episode I did of this, I just had a breakdown and cried. So,
did you
don't
really?
worry. Yeah,
Oh,
generally.
nice. No, for
A
real?
happy cry. Yeah, happy cry. Yeah, generally. I just had a really
Oh,
good
great.
week of comedy and I was like, it's taken a long time. So this maybe follows the song quite nicely. But yeah, go for it. What were you saying, Russell?
Oh, so you're doing really well. Oh, nice. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm the most, what do you
it's
call it? It's like
going
the most
fantastic. I'm the
successful
most,
comedian. Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah,
Best
yeah.
of the best of the best. That's me. No, I mean, like, I don't know what I'm trying to like. You're the first person I really tried to formulate this, but this has been in my head for a while. Is yeah, anyway, it's just weird that I don't know. It's not like I'm not one of these people like, oh, and it's so whiny to sound like, oh, like give me something, but it would be strange that I would like be doing certain things in comedy. Like I'd be like, I'm making a good like living. This is great. And people seem to know. But yeah, I would go, but wow, I've like never done like this tour just came about like completely accidentally. Like I actually asked Bound and Gagged, I was like, I want to go to Edinburgh.
By the way,
And
Bound
then
and Gagged is a production company.
is a production
Otherwise,
company.
I mean, it feels like you just asked some sort of like kidnapping
Yeah.
company.
I went on this website, Bound and Gagged, and I said, I want to take revenge on these
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
You
yeah,
put in the names of various producers who've ignored you,
yeah,
and we just scare them.
yeah, yeah.
We just
Nothing
scare them.
silly,
No,
nothing
after
too
8 hours,
violent. Nah, we
they
let
pull the
them
hood off and they
go.
say, "Is hey," and then I'm there,
Hey, you've been pranked, dude. You've been
and I go
punked.
and I hand them my resume, my CV. Russell Hicks. You
Russell
won't
Hicks.
forget me now,
Yeah,
will you?
yeah. And they go, yeah, no, we love your stuff. Yeah, we'll let you know. Never see
Well,
them
then
again.
there's another thing. This is like I don't know if you've ever had this where so then because then you'll be like then you will meet someone who's maybe like a producer or something and they have no idea who you are. And you're
Mm,
like, man,
yeah,
really? And
you're
then you're
like,
like,
I hope you're like a new producer, or it's like,
yeah,
no, I
what do
literally
you
run
know?
UK comedy.
Been working in the business. Yeah, I've been yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
And then you
Yeah, but
see
it's
some other comic that's been going 3 years come up and they're like, "Hey,
I
how's it going?"
yeah, I do think that there's like, but I think with that, I will say, okay, I think that Edinburgh is a big deal when it comes to this is why one of the things I like about this circuit in this country is it's almost like bifurcated in the way that like um it's split in that you can work uh and but in a way you can like build a living and do all this stuff that's kind of separate from this other side of it that's a little more, the Edinburgh kind of glossy
Mm,
where they all see you. And I think that for whatever reason, like I was always doing the free fringe, I was always down on Cowgate and all that kind of thing. And so in a way, I sort of, I don't know if it was like by choice, but you can kind of just like,
yeah, they don't
I
even
don't know.
look. They don't even look there.
I
They're
was
not like,
trying to
I'm
be
not gonna
like the
go to this.
outsider.
Yeah, I
I
wonder
don't
where
know.
that comes from, man. I also, by the way, before we wrap up, because I know people are interested in it, not just specifically with you, but with dating in general, how did you find having a relationship alongside the very demanding job of comedy? How do you find that? How have you found like having some? Because obviously you don't have any friends, but
Yeah.
you've got this lovely girlfriend who I've met several times. So you've
Yeah,
done
yeah.
something. I don't know how that's
Oh
worked.
no, for sure. Yeah, listen, I don't want the takeaway from this podcast to be Russell's toiling in obscurity alone.
You ever done that where you ever do like
I'm
interviews or
smashing it,
podcasts?
Woods.
Yeah. Interviews or podcasts and like you
Yeah.
like, okay, you don't even think about it. Then the headline comes out and being like, Woods
Yeah.
lone loser hates the industry. And that's the quote. And it's like, read
No, no,
our
no.
interview.
Like, yeah, the episode's gonna be like Russell Hicks on loneliness. What?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Russell Hicks.
Um,
I'm not even putting this out, man. I just thought you needed a chat with someone. And that's the way
thank
of
you.
doing a podcast. So I'm like, he'll do it. He'll open up if we have mics.
So, yeah, the relationship. Well, that's the thing though. I've always like I think also, yeah, I'm in a really good relationship. And so I think if you're working a lot and you're like really focused on work and you're in a super committed relationship, it's kind of, there's not much room to,
Mm,
but like I'm lucky. I mean, my girlfriend is an actor, so she's in the sort of creative industry, so she gets it. So there's not like, I mean, I remember when I was starting out, I think being in a relationship is a little bit harder when you're kind of starting out because if you can be with a partner that's kind of like, wait, I don't get it. You're going out again. And
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
yeah, like I have to do this like every single
You
night.
you ever have that where you're like, yeah, you meet people and they really like the idea you're a comedian, first off. They're like, that's so cool. But they
Oh,
think
yeah.
you gig like once every 3 weeks or something like that and get given like £2,000 to do it. And
When
then
I
when you
first moved here, yeah, and my girlfriend and I started getting like work, and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually getting like paid. This is amazing. And my girlfriend goes, "Oh, good. Now you don't have to do it so much, right? You can like." And I was like, "Oh, we need to have a chat.
Yeah, that's not how this
This
works,
is
man.
this is gonna get worse."
So what would
Now,
be your
listen,
sorry, go on.
the tour
Oh,
and
so
me.
yeah.
I just want to be clear here. So what this
People will
is
have stopped
all
listening by then anyway,
I
by
know, I
now,
just want to say
so
what
don't
this
worry
is
about it.
all coming down to is that um I think also with that thing of like what I was saying is like kind of and you know what's funny, man? I'm sitting here probably saying like, "Oh, I don't get," but then again, someone who's like looking at you would be like, well, "What are you talking about?
Mm.
Like, you've done that, you've done this, you've done that. Like, I don't understand this." I think everyone feels like that. Like, "Oh, I'm ignored or I'm doing it on my own or whatever."
Mm.
But
And comparison is the thief of joy. That's what I've said on this podcast before. That's a great thing I try and
oh,
remember.
for sure,
Because
man.
as soon
Yeah.
you can have a great gig, a great day, a great week. You open Instagram, you see someone's doing something, immediately it just goes. It's just like, oh,
Gone.
it's just like, why don't I get that? Like, and not even that you think that person doesn't deserve that, but you're like, why aren't I getting that? What I'm never gonna get that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
um,
I try to get out of that because like I just like, my bar was always I think that's the thing with me too, is I just like, I think if you can get up like right now, this is like amazing. I mean, I know this is a Saturday, but we could be doing this on a Monday,
mm,
and that's amazing.
yeah.
Uh,
And you'd ideally like it later in the day as well.
we could. What I'm trying to say, we could be doing this on a Monday.
3
at noon,
p.m. Yeah, something like
well
that.
slept.
Chill.
Our voices wouldn't sound like to Tom Waits interviewing himself. Um, no, but like I think so. I think this like second there was like a shift right after COVID, and I like this where I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna like kind of get engaged with the broader kind of, I don't know if I say like industry or whatever.
Mm.
And it was cool. And then I got like on a few little TV things. And then with the tour, like I went and talked to Bound and Gagged, and I was like, I want to go to Edinburgh. And he was just like, he was, I don't know if he wants me to say this, but he was kind of like, Edinburgh's a bit dead, kind
Mm.
of, which I was
Mm.
surprised to hear him say that. And I thought, okay. And he said, let's just do a tour. So
Sick.
I was like, this is great. And it was so nice, man, to have someone say that to me and just be like,
Believe in you.
let's do it.
Sick. Well, that's great,
Yeah.
man. So where can people get tickets?
If you go to my website, russellhicks.co.uk, they're all on there. I'm going everywhere. To be honest, there's so many dates. I'm like, you know, maybe it's too many dates, but it's like, no, it's going good, man. I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to do it. It's like it starts in October.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's
Nice. And you're doing all over, is it just UK? You're doing Ireland? Europe?
yeah, they didn't put any Ireland in, which is
All right.
annoying, but I'm going, it's all over the UK.
All over
Yeah.
the UK. So there you go. If you're in the UK, check him out, Russell Hicks. Man, hey, this has been
Please
great. Great to
jump
catch
on,
up.
man.
Thanks so much for getting up this early. You can go back to sleep now for another 2 hours. Go enjoy yourself and
Hey,
maybe work on some of that house material. Some of that's my house 20. You can work on that.
it's solid, man.
It's bulletproof.
And the thing about house, you got to turn it over. It's got to be. You got to keep it fresh,
Something
man.
you think works in the living room will not work in the
Seriously.
kitchen. And that's the most annoying, but also inspiring thing about it. But
Yeah.
generally, man, Russell, I want to reiterate that. I want to give you your flowers. Like, it is so impressive what you've done. It has been for years. I always love seeing you live. And if you haven't seen Russell Hicks live, you got to go now because it is incredible. What he does in the room with people is amazing. So check him out. Thank you so much, Russell. I'm sure I'll see you soon at a party in a corner, maybe, or at a gig.
That's right. All right, man. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate this.
No worries. Take
I
care.
love you, man. All
Love
right.
you too, brother.